There's a stretch of land outside Austin, Texas, where the ground shakes almost every second. Not because of earthquakes, because inside a giant steel structure in the middle of the desert, machines the size of houses are slamming molten metal together with enough force to crush entire buildings. From the sky, it looks like a warehouse, flat, silent, almost boring. But the closer you get, the stranger it becomes. Trucks move with no drivers. Robotic arms swing like synchronized dancers. Thousands of sensors track every movement, every mistake, every second. And somewhere in the middle of all of it, Elon Musk believes he's building the thing that could replace how humans manufacture almost everything. At first, nobody really understood why Tesla needed a factory this big. The company already had factories in California, Nevada, China, even Germany. But Giga Texas was different from the beginning. Musk didn't describe it like a car plant. He described it like a system, a machine designed to build machines faster than any human workforce ever could. And that sounds dramatic, until you realize this place can produce a car in under a minute. But the speed isn't the scary part. The scary part is how few humans are actually involved. Walk through the production floor, and you notice something unsettling. The robots don't stop. Ever. There's no lunch break, no shift bell, no silence. Mechanical arms weld giant frames together, while autonomous carts move parts across the building without drivers or instructions from people nearby. Most workers aren't building cars anymore. They're watching screens, monitoring systems, correcting exceptions. The factory itself is doing most of the thinking, and Tesla designed it that way on purpose. One of the clearest examples sits near the center of the building, a machine called the GigaPress. It doesn't look revolutionary at first, just a massive industrial block surrounded by heat and steel. But what it does changed the economics of manufacturing overnight. Traditional car companies assemble a vehicle frame from hundreds of smaller parts welded together piece by piece. Tesla replaced that entire process with a single cast. One giant press, one shot. A section of the car emerges almost complete. That single decision removed thousands of steps from production. Less welding, less labor, less time, fewer mistakes, and once competitors realized what Tesla was doing, panic started spreading through the auto industry because factories weren't supposed to work like software for over 100 years. Car manufacturing followed the same basic logic. More workers, more complexity, more assembly lines. Tesla flipped the idea upside down. Musk wanted manufacturing to scale the way smartphones scaled. Fast updates, constant optimization, data flowing through every part of the system. The vehicle wasn't just hardware anymore. It became part machine, part software platform, and this is where the story starts to get uncomfortable, because Giga Texas wasn't only built to make expensive electric cars. Hidden behind the headlines about Cybertrucks and Model Es was a much bigger goal, making electric vehicles cheap enough to dominate the entire global market. Not luxury products, mass products. Cars affordable enough that gasoline vehicles start looking outdated. That's where the 4680 battery came in inside the factory. Tesla began producing a new type of battery cell designed to solve the biggest problems electric cars still had: price, range, and charging time. The cell was larger, more energy-dense, and simpler to manufacture. Which sounds technical, until you understand the consequence. If Tesla could produce these batteries at scale, electric cars could eventually become cheaper to build than traditional gas-powered vehicles. Not equal, cheaper, and suddenly this wasn't just a battle between car companies anymore. It became a threat to entire industries built around oil and supply chains that had existed for generations. But even then, people still misunderstood what Tesla was actually building in Texas, because the factory itself was becoming the product. Every machine inside Giga Texas feeds data into Tesla's AI systems. Every movement gets tracked. Every delay gets analyzed. If a robotic arm slows down by half a second, the system notices. If a machine overheats, backup systems activate automatically. Autonomous vehicles inside the building reroute themselves around obstacles without waiting for instructions. The place behaves less like a factory and more like a living organism. And once you notice that, another detail becomes impossible to ignore. Tesla keeps reducing the need for human workers, not publicly, not dramatically, just gradually, quietly, one automated process at a time. At first, robots handled welding, then transport, then inspection, then quality control. Human workers shifted toward supervision instead of physical production. The factory learned, adapted, optimized itself. And while the world focused on Tesla cars driving themselves outside the factory, something else was learning inside it. That something was Optimus. The humanoid robot project sounded ridiculous when Musk first revealed it. Critics laughed at the presentation. Some thought it was another exaggerated promise. But inside Giga Texas, Tesla engineers started training robots using the same AI systems developed for autonomous vehicles. Cameras became eyes. Neural networks became decision-making systems. The robots learned balance, movement, object handling, navigation. Slowly, the pieces started connecting. The cars, the factory automation, the AI training systems, the robotic labor, none of them were separate projects. They were all feeding the same ecosystem. Inside Giga Texas looked very different. It wasn't just producing vehicles. It was training intelligence inside a real-world industrial environment. Every box carried by a robot, every obstacle avoided. Every machine interaction became data Tesla could use to improve autonomous systems. The factory became a giant experiment in teaching machines how to replace repetitive human work. That realization changed how some people viewed the entire company, because if Optimus eventually works at scale, the implications go far beyond cars, warehouses, construction sites, logistics centers, retail, manufacturing. Entire categories of labor could start shifting toward robotics much faster than most governments or industries are prepared for. And Musk seems fully aware of that. He once said, Tesla could become more valuable for robotics and AI than for vehicles themselves. At the time, it sounded exaggerated, but standing inside Giga Texas, the statement starts making more sense. The cars may only be funding the larger mission. A future where factories run mostly on machines, where robots assist inside homes, where transportation, energy, manufacturing, and AI operate inside one connected system. And maybe that's why Giga Texas feels so strange to people when they first see it, because it doesn't feel like the present. It feels like an early version of something that arrived before society was fully ready for it. The building in the desert was never just a factory, it was a prototype. And if this is only the first version, what happens when the next one barely needs humans at all? For decades, the world believed the most valuable companies would be the ones selling products people physically touched. Oil, phones, cars, computers. But Giga Texas hints at something different. The companies that may dominate the future aren't just selling products anymore. They're building systems that learn faster than humans can adapt, and Tesla might already be further ahead than people realize, because while competitors are still trying to catch Tesla in electric vehicles, Tesla has quietly moved into something much larger. Manufacturing intelligence itself. Look at how traditional factories normally work. Every process is separated. One supplier makes batteries. Another builds software. Another handles electronics. Updates take years. A small design change can delay production for months. But inside Giga Texas, Tesla controls almost everything under one roof. Batteries, AI systems, manufacturing software, robotics, vehicle data, energy systems. That level of control changes the speed of innovation completely. When Tesla improves one system, every other system improves with it. And that creates a dangerous advantage. Most car companies still think in terms of model years. Tesla thinks in terms of software iterations. The factory updates constantly. Machines get retrained. AI models improve. Manufacturing processes change in real time. In some areas, the production line today may already work differently than it did a few months ago. That's almost unheard of in the auto industry. But the deeper reason Tesla built Giga Texas this way becomes clearer when you look at Musk's bigger obsession. Scale. Everything inside the building is designed around one question. How do you make millions of advanced machines cheaply enough for normal people to own them? Not thousands, millions. That's single quotes as why the Cybertruck matters less than people think. Same for the Model Y. Even Optimus might not be the final goal. They're all stress tests for the system itself. Each product teaches Tesla how to manufacture complex technology faster, cheaper, and with less human input. And once you understand that, some of Elon Musk's strangest decisions start making more sense. Why build giant casting machines nobody else was using? Why risk redesigning the entire factory structure? Why obsess over reducing individual parts by tiny percentages? Because at Tesla's scale, small efficiencies become massive economic weapons. Saving even a few seconds per vehicle can translate into millions of dollars over time.